At the end of this topic, you will be able to define what ecosystem is, identify the types of ecosystem, explain the components in an ecosystem, describe the pond ecosystem, analyze the flow of energy in an ecosystem, distinguish the food chain from food web, state how the ecosystem is balanced by nature, conclude the ways and means to maintain the balanced ecosystem. A community of organisms that interact with one another and with the environment is called an ecosystem. The ecosystem is of two types, namely aquatic and terrestrial. There are two major components in ecosystem, namely abiotic factors and biotic factors. Abiotic factors covers the non-living things like air, water, temperature, rainfall, etc. Biotic factors covers the producers, consumers and decomposers. Pond ecosystem is the best example for aquatic ecosystem. A pond is a quiet body of water without much wave action and nominal temperature from top to bottom, and its ecosystem runs smoothly with an interaction between biotic and abiotic factors. Click on the animation button to know about the forest ecosystem. Ponds get their energy from the sun. Other abiotic factors which control the pond ecosystem are light, temperature, pH, inorganic substances like CO2, H2, O2, N, PO4, CO3 and S, and organic substances like carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. A biotic factor includes producers, consumers and decomposers. Plants are the primary producers. Producers are hydrophytes like Hydrilla, Vallisneria, etc. and phytoplankton like Chlamydomonas, Volvox and Spirogyra. Zooplanktons like insects, larvae of dragonfly consume the phytoplankton, which is considered as primary consumers or herbivores. There are certain fishes, frogs, water beetles, etc. which feed on the primary consumers, and they are known as secondary consumers in the pond. Some big fishes and kingfishers that feed on small fishes act as tertiary consumers. Several bacteria and fungi form the strata of decomposers which decompose the dead and debris of producers and consumers and enrich the nutrients in the pond. Energy flows through an ecosystem in one direction which looks like a pyramid. At the base of an ecosystem, primary producers are actively converting solar energy into stored chemical energy. The next are primary consumers which obtain energy by eating the producers. The next layer is the secondary consumers which eat primary consumers. There is another layer of consumers which eat secondary consumers called tertiary consumers. The energy gets decreased when it moves to the next level. An ecosystem is balanced by nature. A balanced ecosystem has equilibrium in biotic and abiotic factors and functions efficiently. An ecosystem maintains the balance between the number of resources and the number of users, or the balance between prey and predators. For example, there is a balance between resources like a banana tree and monkeys. If the banana trees stop growing, the monkeys won't get bananas. If there is no snakes, mice population increases in the fields which will completely erode the crops. Food chain is a linear sequence of link between one level of organisms to the next level through which energy is transferred in one direction. Food chain in a grassland ecosystem shows how different living organisms are dependent on another species for their food requirements. Grassland is defined as a large open space filled with grass. A typical food chain in a grassland shows that energy derived from the sun moves to grass in the name of photosynthesis, then to the grasshopper, then to the frog, who is a primary consumer, which in turn is eaten up by snakes, who is a secondary consumer, and then eaten up by a hawk. The food chains are interlinked to form food webs. In food web, every component of the ecosystem is connected to one another. Disturbing any one factor in an ecosystem could affect the living conditions of organisms, which results in an imbalance. Removal of trees and vegetation would affect both land and water ecosystems, as there will be no food for organisms. Killing animals for our interest, polluting land, air and water disturb the balance in nature. There should be a recycling of nutrients, minerals and water to maintain the eco-balance in an ecosystem. Careful use of natural resources will maintain the eco-balance. Maintenance of biogeochemical cycle has great impact on proper eco-balance.
In this topic, you have learned
A community of organisms that interact with one another and with the environment is called an ecosystem, and it is of two types, namely aquatic and terrestrial. Abiotic and biotic factors are the two major components in ecosystem, in which abiotic covers air, water, temperature, rainfall, etc., and biotic factors cover the producers, consumers, and decomposers. In a pond ecosystem, energy flows from the sun and gets decreased when transferred from producers, which are phytoplanktons, to zooplanktons, which are herbivores, to small fishes, which are secondary consumers, to large fishes, which are tertiary carnivores. Bacteria and fungi play a vital role of decomposing the dead and debris to enrich the nutrients. Food chain is a linear sequence of link between one level of organisms to next level through which energy is transferred in one direction, but in food web all the food chains are interlinked. An ecosystem is balanced by nature, but removal of trees and vegetation, killing the animals, etc., affects it, and this can be overcome by us by maintaining the biogeochemical cycles, recycling of nutrients, minerals, and water, etc. At the end of the topic, you will be able to state the composition and extraction methods of coal, list the uses of coal, discuss the environmental effects of burning coal.
Coal is an example of exhaustible natural resource and is a fossil fuel. Geographical distribution of coal in India is unequal. It is found in abundance in states like Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and Jharkhand. Andhra Pradesh also has a few coal mines. In Andhra Pradesh, coal mines are present in Singareni, Godavari Kani, and Belampalli. Click on the animation button to view the location of coal fields in India. Coal is formed by a process called destructive distillation and carbonization. About 300 million years ago, the Earth had dense forests. Due to natural processes like volcanic activity and earthquakes, these forests got buried under the soil and rocks. As more and more soil and rocks got deposited over them, they were compressed, pressurized, and moisture was squeezed out of them. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure, high temperature, and in the absence of oxygen, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. The slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called destructive distillation or carbonization. Click the animation button to view the formation of coal products during destructive distillation of coal. Click on the images to learn the properties of coal products. Coke is a tough, porous, and black substance. It is almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Coal gas is the uncondensed vapors obtained by the destructive distillation of coal. It is used as a fuel in many industries. Coal tar is the thick black-colored liquid with an unpleasant smell. Products obtained from coal tar are used as starting materials for manufacturing various substances in industry like synthetic dyes, drugs, explosives, perfumes, plastics, paints, photographic materials, and roofing materials. Now let us see some of the significances of coal. Coal is used in steam engines as fuel. Coal is used as fuel in thermal power stations to generate electricity. Coal is used as fuel in industries.
Generation of waste products which contain mercury, uranium, thorium, arsenic, and other heavy metals which are harmful to human health and environment. Sulfur particles present in the coal will cause acid rain, interference with groundwater and water table levels, contamination of land and waterways, dust nuisance, release of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas which causes climatic changes and global warming. Coal is the largest contributor to the man-made increase of carbon dioxide in the air. In this topic, you have learnt coal is a compost primarily of carbon along with variable quantities of other elements, chiefly sulfur, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Coal is obtained through mining or in open pits. Coal is primarily used as a solid fuel to produce electricity and heat through combustion. Coal is the largest.
Petroleum is present in between two layers of impervious rock deep in the earth. Petroleum, when drilled from the Earth's crust, is a dark-colored oily liquid consisting of a mixture of hydrocarbons. This is called as crude oil or crude petroleum. Crude oil is further processed to get several products by a process called fractional distillation. Now let us see the fractional distillation method of petroleum. During this method, crude petroleum is poured into a furnace and is heated to 400 degrees Celsius. The vapors are sent into a long tower with very high temperature maintained at the bottom of the tower, and the temperature gradually decreases to 20 degrees Celsius on the top of the tower. As the vapor of crude oil moves along the length of the tower, it gets cooled down. Compounds like fuel oil, diesel, kerosene, and petrol having different boiling points cool down and condense to liquids at various heights in the tower. These liquids are collected and further purified. Uncondensed vapors are collected from the top of the tower. This whole process is called refining of crude oil, and the place is called refinery. Petrochemicals are the useful substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas. These substances are used in the manufacture of detergents, fibers, and polythene. Look at the table showing the uses of petroleum products formed during the fractional distillation of petroleum.
Crude oil, otherwise called as refined fuel, spills from tanker ships and accidents have damaged natural ecosystem. Oil spills at sea are generally causing more damage than those on land. This can kill seabirds, mammals, shellfish, and other organisms because of their lateral spreading on water surfaces. A tar ball is a blob of oil which has been weathered after floating on the ocean. Tar balls are aquatic pollutants in most of the seas. Alternatives to petroleum-based vehicle fuels are internal combustion engines that could be biofuel or combustion hydrogen, electricity, for example, all electric or hybrid vehicles, compressed air or fuel cells, compressed natural gas, used by natural gas vehicles. In this topic, you have learnt petroleum or crude oil is a naturally occurring toxic flammable liquid consisting of a complex mixture of hydrocarbons and other organic compounds that are found beneath the Earth's surface. Over millions of years, absence of air, high temperature and high pressure transformed the dead organisms into petroleum and natural gas. Due to the great commercial importance, petroleum is also called black gold. Oil spills at seas kill seabirds, mammals, shellfish and other organisms because of their lateral spreading on water surface. A tar ball is a blob of oil which has been weathered after floating on the ocean.
In this topic, you have learned
green chemistry is a sustainable chemistry which designs and processes the chemical products to reduce or eliminate the hazardous substances, and it pushes towards a sustainable world but not towards greenwashing. The concept of green chemistry was introduced in 1995. The principles of green chemistry are greener reaction conditions for all synthetic products, replacing petrochemical feedstocks by biomass and synthesizing a new compound which is less toxic but with desirable properties, designing energy-efficient products, etc. Green chemistry has intruded in almost all branches of chemistry, including organic, biochemistry, inorganic, polymer, etc. Lead-free solders, cleaner batteries, bioplastics, flame-resistant materials, silicon-based halogen-free flame retardants are the main products of green chemistry.
In this topic, you have learned
green chemistry is a sustainable chemistry which designs and processes the chemical products to reduce or eliminate the hazardous substances, and it pushes towards a sustainable world but not towards greenwashing. The concept of green chemistry was introduced in 1995. The principles of green chemistry are greener reaction conditions for all synthetic products, replacing petrochemical feedstocks by biomass and synthesizing a new compound which is less toxic but with desirable properties, designing energy-efficient products, etc. Green chemistry has intruded in almost all branches of chemistry, including organic, biochemistry, inorganic, polymer, etc. Lead-free solvers, cleaner batteries, bioplastics, flame-resistant materials, silicon-based halogen-free flame retardants are the main products of green chemistry. At the end of this topic, you will be able to define what green chemistry is all about, point out the objectives and principles of green chemistry, relate the green chemistry with other branches of science on the whole and with chemistry as a part, identify the products of green chemistry in daily life, predict the future of green chemistry. Green chemistry is a sustainable chemistry which designs and processes the chemical products to reduce or eliminate the hazardous substances. The concept of green chemistry was introduced in 1995. The Green Chemistry Institute has been opened recently in all countries. Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Awards were established in 1999. Greener reaction conditions for all synthetic products, that is, replacement of an organic solvent with water or no solvent at all, using biomass rather than petrochemical feedstocks and catalytic reagents than stoichiometric reagents. The synthesis of a new compound which is less toxic but have desirable properties as an existing compound, that is, a pesticide should be toxic only to target organisms and biodegrades the benign substances in an environment, designing energy-efficient products. Green chemistry technology have been developed in almost all branches of chemistry, including organic, biochemistry, inorganic, polymer, toxicology, environmental, physical, industrial, etc. Product of green chemistry is a boon to human beings and environment. Some of them are as follows: lead-free solvers and other product alternatives to lead additives in paints. Development of cleaner batteries. Environmental friendly bioplastics are made from plants such as corn, potatoes and other agricultural products. Flame resistant materials. Silicon-based halogen-free flame retardants. Feedstock should be technically and economically renewable, concentrating the production of more catalytic reagents and stoichiometric reagents. New lead-free solvers with lower heat requirements are being developed, focusing on pollution prevention and recycling phenomenon.
In this topic, you have learned
green chemistry is a sustainable chemistry which designs and processes the chemical products to reduce or eliminate the hazardous substances, and it pushes towards a sustainable world but not towards greenwashing. The concept of green chemistry was introduced in 1995. The principles of green chemistry are greener reaction conditions for all synthetic products, replacing petrochemical feedstocks by biomass and synthesizing a new compound which is less toxic but with desirable properties, designing energy-efficient products, etc. Green chemistry has intruded in almost all branches of chemistry, including organic, biochemistry, inorganic, polymer, etc. Lead-free solvers, cleaner batteries, bioplastics, flame-resistant materials, silicon-based halogen-free flame retardants are the main products of green chemistry.
In this topic, you have learned
green chemistry is a sustainable chemistry which designs and processes the chemical products to reduce or eliminate the hazardous substances, and it pushes towards a sustainable world but not towards greenwashing. The concept of green chemistry was introduced in 1995. The principles of green chemistry are greener reaction conditions for all synthetic products, replacing petrochemical feedstocks by biomass and synthesizing a new compound which is less toxic but with desirable properties, designing energy-efficient products, etc. Green chemistry has intruded in almost all branches of chemistry, including organic, biochemistry, inorganic, polymer, etc. Lead-free solvers, cleaner batteries, bioplastics, flame-resistant materials, silicon-based halogen-free flame retardants are the main products of green chemistry.